All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this training. I'm super excited to have you. Now, I did not want to run this like a normal webinar. I don't know if you've been on one of those before, but they're crazy boring, right? And there's so much hoopla around them, right? Oh, join me at this special time, and I'm going to have 5 other people watching this with you. And I want you to put a 1 in the chat whenever you're feeling excited about what I'm saying, right? I didn't want to do all that. I wanted you to be able to download it or watch this training whenever you have a free moment because it's that important, right? So make time for it. I sent it directly to your email and you clicked on it and you're here. So thank you so much for watching this training. I've really put a lot of time and effort into making this presentation as great as it can be to help get you results and help you give you some clarity about some things when it comes to building a successful music career. So again, I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for joining. And let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So I guess I should go ahead and share my screen. And if I did that the right way, then you should see my logo right now next to my face. And I'm going to assume I did all that correctly. And we're going to start this presentation. So now you should see the presentation just under my face. And let me take my face off the screen because that can be pretty distracting. And I want you to be able to really focus on what I'm saying. So I'm super excited again to talk to you about the fan journey, how to take complete strangers and turn them into your super fans, the people who are your diehards, who will do anything to help you succeed. Now, before we get into that topic, I do want to introduce myself. So, hi. Thanks for joining me. My name is Brandon Jackson. That's me on the left. And I'm the founder of KDMR Music. That's my company logo on the right. Now, KDMR Music is a company that I started originally as a management company, but we've got one goal. We want to be the bridge that connects you from your current reality to the career and life of your dreams. So, we do that through a number of different ways, but to put it simply, I help musicians and brands find, monetize, and profitably scale their audiences. Long story short, my goal is to help you make money with your music. And once you start to make money, how do we make that as big as possible? That's the question I'm always asking myself. And so, really, my main method for doing that is focusing on the marketing process, whether it's paid ads, whether it's social media, whether it is really learning who you sound like and what audiences would enjoy you and finding ways to put you in front of those people. So that's what I do now, but that's not where it all started. So we're going to take a time machine or just a PowerPoint slide back to 2011, where it all started for me, right? And that's if you don't count the 4 years I spent pursuing a rap career, but we'll talk about that some other time. So, where it all started for me in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in August of 2011, where I met this guy. Now, that guy with the hat on is me, back when my hair was small enough to put a hat on top of it. And that other guy with the clipboard in his hand is Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder is a Grammy Award winning multi platinum music producer. He's worked with Jay-Z, Destiny's Child, Mary J. Blige, Ludacris, Kendrick Lamar. The list goes on and on and on. But to make a long story short, Ninth Wonder started a record label in 2008 called Jamla Records. And one of my favorite artists in the world, Rhapsody, is signed to that label. I saw them at a show in Greensboro, North Carolina back in July of 2011. No, it was June. It was June. June of 2011. And I was so excited, right? I spent so much money on merchandise. I bought a poster for everyone to sign. Like, I was just so enamored by what they were doing that I decided I have to be a part of this. So I looked on their website and saw they had an internship program, and I applied. 2 months go by and I hear absolutely nothing. So at this time, Ninth Wonder is actually kind of on a mini tour. He's screening this documentary that he was a part of called The Wonder Year. It's a movie about a year in his life. Actually, this guy right here with the shades, Yeah, that is the director, Kenneth Price. But long story short, I heard about the screening in Winston-Salem, which was about 30 minutes away from where I was in school at the time. I rode with a couple of friends because I was dead broke, but I was like, I'm going to make it to this screening and I'm going to talk to Ninth Wonder. And that's exactly what happened. And that is what you see happening in that picture in real time. And so we talked for what felt like forever, but it really was only about 5 or 6 minutes about marketing and about Mac Miller, who was on tour with Rhapsody at the time, and just really amazing things. And he said, "Hey, look, I got to go, but we're going to talk about that marketing stuff." And a month later, I was on the team as an intern. And here I am a few months after that, in October 2011, on official intern business at the New Era shop in Atlanta, Georgia, for the A3C Festival. That is Dion next to me. She was another intern that got hired at the same time. And this was such a great experience. Being an intern at Jamla Records, I was able to basically, my job was to run social media profiles. I got to be up close and personal with the fans, understanding more about the fan base, what made them so excited about all the things that we had going on at the label. I would post questions and comments and polls like, hey, where are you from? What do you like? What artists are you looking forward to seeing next, right? And I learned so much about the power of grassroots fan relationship building from my time at this label. And it was really amazing because Rhapsody was able to go from working, selling shoes at Finish Line to basically being a musician full time. And this was years before she even came into the public consciousness when Kendrick Lamar featured her, on his second album, To Pimp a Butterfly. But what's really cool about this day, this particular day in October 2011, is I also met this young lady. This young lady is Phoenix Pagliacci, and she was on the street team for Jamla, but at the time, she was just kind of an aspiring songwriter, and she wasn't really doing much. And we had a car ride. We had to ride 6 hours back to North Carolina from Atlanta. And, we got to know each other over that car ride. And she says, hey, if I ever get serious about this music thing, I want you to be my manager. And so I said, sure. And I was like, I don't know anything about artist management, so I've got to figure some things out, right? And so that's when my journey in the music business really started, because I wanted to learn everything there was to know about marketing, about publishing, about administration, whatever I needed to know to help take her career to the next level. That's what I was going to do. So fast forward a couple of years, right? And I'm able to hire a team. I started managing more artists. That guy on the right is Kane. He was my second management client. And there in the middle is Shara. She's one of the partners in the business. She helps me with A&R. She helps with spotting talent, right? That's because KDMR Music, again, started as a management company. And our goal was to find artists and groom them until they were ready for the next level. But then it was time for a shift, right? Instead of just keeping all of this knowledge that we were able to achieve and attain for ourselves, I decided I wanted to share it with the world. And that kind of leads us to where we are today. Today, I host a podcast, I host a YouTube channel, and through it, I'm able to reach thousands of musicians every single month, right? And teach them everything I know about the music business, marketing, publishing. We break down different people's case studies and strategy campaigns, right? All the things they need to know to find their audiences, monetize them, and then grow them. But even I get to go in person now as well, right? And this is actually a photo of me just last week giving this same presentation that I'm giving to you today, except slightly tweaked because it's an in-person situation, right? So I really love what I do. I've been doing this for, about 8 years now, soaking up everything I can about the music business and teaching it directly to artists, right? And I love that aspect of my job. And that's what I want to do for you today, right? And so now that you know a little bit more about me, let's get into today's topic. Again, I wanted to talk to you about the fan journey. But before we get into that, let's talk about the biggest lie in the music industry. Now, we've seen this lie perpetuated time and time and time again, whether it's on TV, on the movies, whether you're watching American Idol, The Voice, whatever it is, right? And that lie is that you need a record label, a manager, or someone to quote unquote discover you in order to find success in the music industry. We all know the story, right? Some guy in the back of the club with a sleazy suit on and a cigarette, right? That's the guy that's going to watch you performing as a struggle artist and say, hey, you got potential, kid. And that guy is going to sign you and make you famous and help you achieve all your dreams, right? Only problem with that is sometimes that guy has no idea what he's talking about. And on top of that, you're probably going to end up just as broke as when he found you in that club, right? You do not, gosh, right? I mean, a label, a manager, someone to discover you. We hear this all the time, right? And you maybe even you've seen an interview with your favorite artist, and they'll say, "Hey, man, so now that you've achieved all this success, what would you say to somebody who wants to follow in your footsteps?" And that guy says something stupid like, "Oh yeah, man, you you know, just make the music, man. As long as your music is good, everything else will follow, man. Just keep following your dreams." They tell you that because they don't want you to compete with them, right? It's the biggest lie in music that all you've got to do is have good music and have the right person discover you in order to be successful. So we know what the lie is, right? Then what's the truth? Well, the truth is very, very simple, and it's something that many artists have seen time and time again. Now, that truth is that a well engaged fan base is the key that will unlock any door in the music business. I mean, think about it. Some of these things that we have as goals, right? You want to play the biggest venue in town? Well, you need enough fans to fill up that venue. If you want to be on the radio, well, you got to have enough people listening to you that the radio station says, hey, we can have more people listening to us if we play this music, right? You want a record deal, right? Well, all you got to do is be able to prove that you can sell a large volume of music in multiple different markets to the point where once they put money behind it, it'll sell even more. That's all you need. And all of that starts with fans. If you can find more fans that will go to ride, go to bat for you, they'll ride for you, they'll do whatever it is you ask them to do, then you can unlock any door that seems locked to you in the music business. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's look at a few artists who have figured this out, right? And we'll start with the late Nipsey Hussle. Now, of course, before his untimely death, Nipsey Hussle was able to accomplish a lot. And most of the things he accomplished without the help of a major record label, right? So Nipsey first became really popular, where I'm from, when he did something really, really cool, right? He sold 1,000 copies of his mixtape Crenshaw for $100 each. Now, what makes this so impressive is that the mixtape was already available online for free. And he decided, hey, I'm gonna throw a private concert for the people who buy this mixtape. And this is just people who are proud to pay for my music, who are proud to support me. I want to give them something to, be excited about. And he sold all 1,000 copies of that CD in one day. Even Jay-Z bought 100 copies. Amazing. Amazing. Now, not only did he do this, but a couple years later, he decided to remix this same strategy. So he wrote a book and he sold 60 copies of it. At least that's what he said in the last interview that we could find about that book. $60,000 because he sold those books for $1,000 each. Now, on top of all of this, Nipsey Hussle understood the power of giving your fans an experience that's exclusive to you, right? So he opened up the Marathon clothing store in LA with exclusive items, right? If you've ever purchased a shirt from the Marathon store, then you know that it comes with a special app that you put on your phone. And you can actually hover your phone over these t-shirts. And when you put your phone over this logo, it plays an exclusive video or exclusive song or some sort of experience that you could only get by having that shirt and showing it to your phone at that exact moment, right? Amazing things. Nipsey knew how to do all of this and was able to do this without using a record label because he knew the power of an engaged fan base. Well, let's talk about another example. Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper won 3 Grammy Awards, right? He had the first streaming only album to chart on the Billboard 200. Not only did this album chart on the Billboard 200, but Apple Music paid him $500,000 just to put this album on their, or excuse me, this mixtape on their streaming service as an exclusive for a couple of weeks, right? And not only that, now that's amazing in its own right without a label. But once he decided to sell that hat that's on his head, he made $6 million in a year off of this one merchandise item. A bunch of different colors, but one item. That's amazing. All without a major record deal, right? Now, some people would argue, well, he got paid by Apple Music. That might as well be a record label. It's not a record label, though. He was able to be creative. He was able to get this opportunity from Apple because he had a well-engaged fan base. He was able to, I don't know if you guys even remember this, but when it was time for his album to come out and he wanted songs to be on the radio, he created an app that people could use to request the song at the radio station. And his fan base was so energized that he actually made his radio singles chart. That's the power of a well-engaged fan base. Now, the person who is like the patron saint of all of this is a young lady named Amanda Palmer. Let's talk about her for a second. Now, Amanda Palmer became famous in, I think it was around 2012, 2013, when she raised over $1 million on a single Kickstarter campaign. At the time, it was the biggest Kickstarter ever for a musician. And it was such an amazing success that, she got the world talking about her. Everybody's like, wow, crowdfunding is this amazing thing. Look at this one girl. She raised $1 million. Now, since then, Amanda has actually switched up her strategy, right? She's not on Kickstarter anymore because what you find is that Kickstarter, is great for onesie, twosie campaigns, but it's not sustainable, right? So she switched over to a platform called Patreon. On Patreon, there's really amazing things that you can do. You can decide to charge your subscribers, whether it's $1 per month or $1 per thing that you release. But whichever one you choose, every time you release a new project, a new song, a new album, whatever it is, the people who decide to be your patrons are charged automatically and you get that money, right? Now, Amanda's got tiers that range from $1 to $1,000 every time she releases a thing. Can you imagine how many patrons she has? I want you to see if you can guess. Okay, I won't make you guess, right? She's got over 15,000 patrons on Patreon. So on the low end, if everyone is just using the $1 tier, she makes $15,000 every time she releases a quote unquote thing, whether it's an album, whether it's just a single, whether it's a music video, $15,000 on the low end every single time. Now, if you knew that every time you released a song, you were going to make that kind of money, creativity is amazing, right? Like through the roof, you can do whatever you want. You're not limited by, oh, is this going to make me money, right? Amazing things that come from having fans that are willing to support you. Now, by the way, if you are interested in Amanda Palmer's story, she actually wrote an amazing book. It's called The Art of Asking. And I'd say it's a go-to for any creative entrepreneur, but especially a musician, because she's a musician too, right? Now, these might seem like decent examples, right? But I'm sure you're thinking, okay, well, these people already had millions of dollars. These people were already pretty big, right? But what about me? I'm just me in my small town. I don't know anyone. I don't have any fans. What can I do, right? And it's a common misconception that you got to be big in order to be big, right? So let's talk about a couple people from my hometown. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And so do these next two artists that I'm going to talk about. So the first one is Nance. Now, Nance is from where I'm from. I grew up in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and so did he. Um, Nance, I won't spoil the fun, but one of the biggest things that he was able to do recently, when he decided he wanted to release his debut album, he was able to raise over $10,000 on Kickstarter in order to fund it. Not only that, but Nance consistently sells out the biggest venues in our hometown. And he does all of this while working a normal 9 to 5 job at a print shop, right? Nance does not have a record label behind him. He doesn't have a huge money machine behind him. He just has a well-engaged fan base that wants to see him win. So every time he says, hey, I'm opening up for such and such artist downtown, they all come. They buy his merchandise. They pack out his shows. So now he's being able to parlay this into some real success. He's been on festival stages. He's been doing a lot, all from his small town, right? Without interrupting his lifestyle. He's working toward the lifestyle of his dreams, and he is starting with his fans. But again, I told you there's somebody else from our hometown that's doing really big things as well. Now, this is Sarah the Instrumentalist. She's probably better known as Sarah Too Ill on YouTube. Now, Sarah is a beat maker, and she just has a really amazing YouTube channel where she shares beat making tips. She shares her story. She shares like a day in the life vlogs. But what's been really cool about her is watching her grow on YouTube. I had her on my podcast a few months ago. I had Nance on as well. But it was really cool to see because back when I interviewed her, she only had about 7,000 YouTube subscribers. But let's get into her story. Now, Sarah started getting brand partnerships when she only had about 2,000 YouTube subscribers. Now, today she's got about 33,000, right? And now she's getting sponsorships from huge companies, Moog, Native Instruments, Roland, anyone you can think of in the audio space that's doing anything worthwhile has had a conversation with Sarah, right? But not only that, she could have left it at that with her YouTube success and getting paid to make videos about these products. But the really cool part is that Sarah decided to launch her own brand. It's called No Quantize, and she did it without even spending a dime on inventory. It was all direct to fan platforms, right? And drop shipping. Now, this is the type of thing that knowing that you have an audience, knowing that you have people who are waiting to spend money on you can be super helpful when you're launching a brand like this because now you know you're going to make that money, right? So let's talk about how we can get fans that are willing to spend their money to give us these sorts of opportunities, right? And so in order to do that, we need to talk about the fan journey. Now, the fan journey is a framework that's going to teach you how to have people go from complete strangers to super fans, the people that support you. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the 1,000 true fans theory, but the way it goes is if you can find 1,000 people that are willing to support you to the tune of $100 a year, right? Now, think about $100. $100 could be one concert ticket if you're Taylor Swift, right? Probably half of a concert ticket, right? $100, that could be 3 t-shirts. That could be 2 CDs and 2 t-shirts, right? There's a lot of ways to get to $100, but they're pretty easy. But if you can get 1,000 people to spend $100 on you in a year, then you're making $100,000 a year. And that's a pretty respectable income where I'm from. I don't know about you, right? But even if 1,000 is not enough for you, you can take this framework and grow it and grow it and grow it. So let's dig into it. Now, the first level of the fan journey, of course, is complete strangers, people who have never heard of you. Right now, these people who've never heard of you, maybe they find out about you through a live show. You're performing at the coffee shop they go to, or maybe they see you on a Spotify playlist. Maybe you're on YouTube, or maybe your music plays while they're in the store, right? Any one of these things may happen, and they're like, this is a cool song. Let's find out more about it, right? And they find you on social media. They find you on Spotify. They find you on their favorite streaming site, and they follow your profile. Well, once they do that, Now they are casual listeners. Again, people that follow you on your social media or on streaming sites. Now, this is cool because, whenever you decide to release new music or new things, or you post new things on social media, these casual listeners may be the ones that see it because they're following you. But of course, the goal is not just to be able to say, oh, let's pour out a broadcast and hope a few people see it. What you really want are people who are waiting and anxious to see when you release new things. Those people are your fans. Well, how do you turn fans into or how do you turn your casual listeners into fans? Well, they've got to join your email list. They've got to give you some kind of contact information, because the key differentiator is that your fans are people that you can directly contact at any point in time, right? I've got a new design for a t-shirt and I put it on Twitter, maybe 5 people will see it, maybe they won't. But if I email all my fans and say, hey, there's a new design in my merchandise shop, you can take 15% off it, right? They're more likely to, one, see my message, and two, act on it. And when I make those types of offers, those people are now my customers, right? Now, this may seem like the ultimate goal. I mean, when we start out doing music and thinking about all the ways we want to promote it, maybe you want people to follow you on your Spotify page so that they can listen to your song so you can get paid, right? Well, with Spotify, you're going to get paid 3 months from now. You're going to get paid 0.8 of a penny every 84 times someone listens to your song. So it's not the best for independent artists who are just starting out, right? But when you've got your own shop, when you've got your own products for sale, and you can make offers, then people can purchase them directly from you, right? And again, that seems like the ultimate goal, but there's a step even beyond that, right? People purchase from you and you make them happy, you delight them, right? Then they become eventually your super fans. They're your repeat customers, people that always support you, that always refer new fans to you, that always purchase your premium offers, right? They don't just buy tickets to your show, they buy the VIP meet and greet package for $500, right? If you got 1,000 people like that, now you're making $500,000 a year. See how this adds up? So let's go back through this, right? And I want to go back through this time. Let's talk about how we get people in through each stage of this fan journey. So again, you remember when people are complete strangers, well, you don't want them to be strangers for long. You want them to become people who actually listen to you. Well, the hardest thing to do in the music business is to get in front of these strangers. So here's some methods that we use. We use paid advertising. I just ran a campaign. I started a campaign this past Saturday morning, and we spent $15 a day for 2 days. Today is Monday. And in those technically 3 days that this campaign has been running, I'm going to pull this up, and I can't pull it up on the screen right now, but I'm pulling it up on my phone. We started this campaign for a little short snippet of a music video, right? And this artist has gotten over 14,000 views on this video, 356 post reactions. So clicking the like or the love or the wow button. And the post has been shared 168 times. Now, that is amazing. Not only that, we've got a ton of comments. We've gotten over 70 new fans to like the page, right? So again, just by spending about $30, maybe 40 at this point, we were able to reach over 24,000 new people who saw us. And out of that, hundreds of them took action. And now almost 100 of them have gone from being strangers to being casual listeners. Now, these casual listeners, you don't want them to just stay casual listeners. You want them to become your fans. Because again, when they're your fans, you're able to reach out to them directly. You're able to talk to them a lot more often. And you're usually able to make a lot more money off them because they're on your email list. But how do you get them on that email list? Well, the simple answer is you have to make exclusive offers. Now, you want these offers to only be available if they purchase on your website or on your email list, right? So let's say The status quo used to be, all right, well, you can get a free download of my latest song if you join my email list. Well, newsflash, guy. Every song I ever want to listen to is on Spotify right now. There is no need for me to join your email list, give you my contact information, and go through all that trouble to download your song because I don't have anywhere to put it. If I download your song, I can't burn it on a CD because my computer doesn't have a CD burner. And if I download your song, I can't even download it if I'm on an iPhone. And I'm definitely team iPhone. So maybe a music download is not the best offer to make to get someone on your email list. But what experiences can you offer people who join your email list? Well, you're watching a video right now. You didn't have to download this video. It's hosted on YouTube, right? And I said, hey, if you want to learn this strategy from me, then give me your email address, let me know where I need to send this video, and I'll send it directly to you. Well, you can do something just like that for your fans, right? What if you've got a video, a behind the scenes video of the making of your latest album or your latest song, right? And instead of putting that on YouTube for the world to see, hold on to it and say, hey, um, here's the album. The album's out right now. But if you want to see a behind the scenes video of how we made the album, send me your email address and I will send you the video. Right now, you've got to have some software set up in order to handle that, but we can get into that a little bit later. Now, once you've got these people's email address, they become your fans, but you want them to become customers, right? So once they're your fans, you've got to nurture that relationship. And what does that mean? Well, you've got to continue to talk to them. You've got to tell them more and more about you, right? You want to email your fan list at least twice a month, but if you're really doing well, you can do it once a week. And in these emails cannot just be, hey, by the way, I got a show coming up. Hey, by the way, there's some new merchandise in the shop. No, you want to build a relationship with these people. Think about the last time you went to a used car shop, right? You wanted a car. That's why you came to the lot. But there's that one guy that's just like, hey, did you see this car? Did you see this one? Hey, well, this one's got a cup holder, right? They don't care anything about what you need. They're not building a relationship with you. They're not building a rapport, right? But the best salesman on the lot says, hey, who are you? Well, let me tell you a little bit about me. My name's Brandon, and this is my background. I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids, right? And I don't have 3 kids. I have 1. But I got a wife. I got 3 kids, and our lifestyle is so busy, right? So we've got this SUV, and I love it because it's got enough room for my kids, but I still feel sporty. I feel like a dad that's responsible, but I still feel young, right? And so that's why I bought this car. And I think this is probably a good one for you too. Well, you trust that guy a lot more than the guy who was clamoring about cup holders, right? Because you've got a relationship with him. And that's what you want to do with your fans. You want to reach out to your fans on a regular basis just to show them that you care about them, but also to tell them more about you. The more they know about you, the more they're going to see themselves in you, the more they're going to trust you. But you can't make money with your fans unless you make offers, right? All of this kumbaya, hey, let's talk about our feelings is great. But if you don't follow that up with, hey, my music's for sale. Hey, this t-shirt's for sale. Hey, I'm going to be in your city. Here are tickets. Buy some, or, if you want to come, I'd love to see you there. Here's the link to purchase your tickets, right? If you don't make those offers, no one's ever going to buy anything from you because people can't read your mind. They know you need money, but if you're not giving them the opportunity, they'll never give it to you, right? But once you do make that offer, then you'll see people start to become customers, right? Now, there's one step after people become customers. You might think that being a customer is the ultimate goal, but we know that's not the case. We want our customers to become super fans, right? And so we want to deliver exceptional experiences to each and every customer, right? Now, when you got people buying from your store, you get information about them. You get their email address. You may get their home address or their phone number, right? What if you called a couple of your customers maybe once or twice a month, right? Just out of the blue, pick 1 or 2 people and make a phone call. Say, hey, Jimmy, this is Brandon from, I don't know, from the fans, the fan band. This is Brandon from the Fan Band, and I wanted to say thank you so much for supporting us. I saw that you bought this T-shirt. I hope it's, it fits you well. But beyond all that, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate you being a fan. Maybe talk for another 3, 4, 5 minutes, right? You made that person's day. Now that person slowly feels more invested than just a regular fan. He becomes your super fan. And when you've got someone who's your super fan, that's the goal, because they're going to spend whatever extra money they have in order to become, you know, the most connected to you, right? So you've completed that goal, and now it's time to rinse and repeat. Whatever you did to get that person from being a stranger to a super fan, you need to do that again and again and again. And that is how you are going to build the career of your dreams. Now, there's a lot that has to be done before you start this fan journey and even after, in order to make sure that you set it up successfully, right? You got to make sure you got your royalties. You got to make sure your music's good enough. You got to have a website. You got to have your email marketing campaign set up. You've got to have a lot of things in place in order to really take advantage of the way people become fans of music in 2019. And this is typically where people get hung up. Now, usually when I give this presentation, the first thing people say to me is, hey, man, like, you seem like you know what you're talking about. I need you to manage me. And the reality is you don't. You don't need a manager. What you need is a guide, someone to show you how to do these things, someone to show you the way, right? And I'm absolutely willing to be that person for you. I can show you, right? I can show you how to make sure your music is ready for the radio. I can show you where to register to get all your music royalties. I can show you how to build a website that actually gets you fans, and how to set up your sales channel with no cost to you. Well, almost no cost to you, right? I can show you how to network and get press for your music, so that, those magazine articles can bring you more fans, more people that go from strangers to casual listeners, right? I can show you how to get that press for your music. I can show you how to run Facebook and Instagram ads, just like we talked about with one of my other clients. We can talk about how to supercharge your growth with those Facebook and Instagram ads. And I can teach you a lot more about what it means to lay the groundwork and build a foundation for a successful music career, right? And I created a program to show you all of these things. And I'm really excited to invite you into it. That program is called The Next Steps. It's a group coaching program. It's an accelerator. And what an accelerator means is it's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be in way less time than it would have taken you to do by yourself, right? To make a long story short, we're going to turn this passion, this hobby that you have for music, into an actual business. And what's a business? Well, an entity that makes profit, right? And we're going to turn it into a business that scales, that grows. So now, instead of making zero money ever in music, you're actually making hundreds, thousands of dollars each month, right? Eventually, you could even make millions by putting some of these things into practice. But let's talk about what this program includes, because I really, really packed this program with everything I feel like you need in order to get started and really build your career until someone else is ready to help you, right? So in this program, you're going to get over 40 video lessons. This was a program that I originally designed to cover an 8-week period. And when I first ran this program, I ran it with just a few students, and we went week by week, giving out a different lesson each day of the week, well, each weekday. And it was really cool to see where they were, where they started, and where they are now that they've finished, right? So you get 40 video lessons, again, talking about all those things that we just covered earlier. Not only do you get those 40 video lessons, but you get unlimited access to our students only Facebook group. That's where the training takes place. That's where all the other students who've taken this class already were, right? So when you're posting in the group, they're answering I'm answering your questions as well. So you get access to our students only group. And it's just an amazing community of people who are going to help you achieve your goals. Not only do you get that, but you get personal feedback on your music, your website, and your content strategies from me. Right now, and as if that wasn't enough, you also get replays from the 8 live coaching calls that I did with my original group of students. And now this is enough right here. I could stop all of the addition right here, but here's where the real value comes in. Not only do you get these things, but you also get every single month, I'll go live in the group for a coaching call. So you can ask me whatever questions you may have. If you've stuck on your website design, well, let me know and we'll do an audit. I will bring up your website and critique it live in front of the group so that you can grow, so that you can take this information and really use it to your advantage, right? Not only do you get that, but you get a free copy of my book, The Music Marketing Guidebook, where I wrote about how you can find listeners, convert them to fans, and make more money with your music. Now, I'm sure at this point you're wondering, okay, how much is this going to cost me? Well, let's compare what you're getting to some of the other options that are available to you. Now, if you just wanted to have me as your private consultant, well, my fee is $150 an hour, right? So when you think about those 8 hours of group coaching calls, right? Now, if we translate that to 8 hours of private coaching, you would pay over $1,200 just for those coaching calls, right? And that's just for me, just the hours of my time. But let's talk about some of the other programs that are out there. Now, unfortunately, I'm not the only one out here giving out music business advice. There are tons of people online who claim that they have the answer to all your troubles, right? They know how to help you get fans. They can help you find 10,000 people that love your music on Facebook tomorrow. Um, and, there are other programs out there where they'll give you bits and pieces of all the strategy that you need. You can pay $100 here, $100 there, $500 here, $500 there, or you can pay $50 a month for the rest of your life, right? Because they claim they're going to be adding things all along, right? These other programs can cost hundreds of dollars, right? Now, what's the next steps going to cost you? That's what you really want to know. Well, instead of paying $1,200, instead of paying $150 an hour, instead of paying hundreds of dollars to piece together other courses that don't have all of the strategies that you need, you can pay $197 to join the next steps. Now, that is not $197 a month. It is $197 one time, and you get lifetime access to all the videos, to the group coaching program, to the Facebook group, to the book, everything for $197. I probably will not keep it at that price for very long because there's honestly no reason. It's not sane for me to keep it at this price. But the reality is I want as many of you as possible to be able to get the help that you need. My goal, again, is to be that bridge from the career and the life that you have now to the career and the life that you've been dreaming about since you were a kid. And I want that to be accessible to as many people as possible. And that is why the price is as low as it is right now, right? So $197 gets you in the door. You never have to worry about me asking for another dime from you to stay in that program. Now, I don't want you to be like most musicians out there. Most musicians, and you're probably one of these musicians right now, right? They have no idea how to market themselves. When they go out to release new music, no one's there to listen to it, right? So they're releasing their music to crickets. They get stuck playing the same venues over and over and over again. Hey, what's up, Matt? Oh, nothing much, man. I'm taking my guitar. I've got to go, got to go get my guitar tuned. And then I'm headed to the coffee shop, right? Oh, you're going to the coffee shop again? Yep, another show. You play the same venues over and over and over again, and you end up feeling like you're running on a hamster wheel. But what's worse than all of that is that you're not even making the money you need to survive full time, right? And so again, I want to remind you of what you're getting when you join the next steps. Instead of being that guy, you get step-by-step instructions to grow your career. You get real feedback for your music. You get to join a supportive community of artists and music industry professionals, right? And you get live calls from me, a professional who has been there before. And you get all of that for less than the price you would pay for a decent microphone, right? I really could not make this any easier for you and make this really any less expensive, right? I really want this to be the program that helps you succeed. And I don't want there to be any barriers to your success. So again, the program is only $197, and I'm leaving all the information below so that you can join the program. I really am excited to see you inside. So please take a look at the information below. I wasn't lying. There's over 40 video lessons, and there's a few of the screenshots from what you'll see inside the program. So again, the information is below. I am really excited to have you join the program. I know that it's going to be valuable for you. I can't wait to meet you, to see you inside the group, and to help walk you through what it's going to take for you to be successful in this music industry. So I'm really excited to come alongside you and help hold your hand and walk you through these dreams and these strategies that you are going to want to undertake. And I can't do that until you join the program. So again, go ahead and scroll down on the page. You'll find all the information you need to join. And I hope to see you inside the group very soon. Well, thanks again for joining me for this training. It was really exciting. And I'll talk to you soon in another training. Hopefully I'll see you in the program. And again, thanks you guys for joining. And now I got to do that thing where I figure out how to end the meeting. And here we go. Peace out.